Paulie is larger than life. I think he's one of those who leads by example, very soft-spoken. He's, I think, a model when it comes to certain managerial styles. I enjoy working for him.
Working for Paulie is always a party. We have fun, do a good job, have a good time. Yeah, he gets the job done, to say the least. He runs a tight ship, good restaurant.
Name's Paul O'Connor. My workplace is kind of all over the valley right now. Mostly at Osteria. I also work down at Silver in Park City and taking on a new project in downtown Jackson at Bin 22. Alright, well, I'll talk about Stoneground first. That's the actual first restaurant that I've ever had where I actually had any type of responsibility as far as management. To me, the hardest aspect was to try to get people to believe and I knew what I was talking about because I was only 20 years old when I opened up my own place. So it was really hard for me to try to tell somebody who was like 35, 40 years old what to do. So, that was the hardest thing. Was trying to get respect for the staff because you're like, who's this young person? He doesn't really know anything. I've been cooking for as long as this kid's been alive, pretty much. So that was kind of a big thing. Second was just, trying to figure out how to be able to run a kitchen and develop systems and stuff because I didn't know how to do ordering on a big scale and production stuff to make sure people were doing jobs and prepping and things like that, and just quality control of product coming in. There's just a lot more to look at, for the bigger picture when you're running everything. We are, it's just like a line cook. A 14-hour day is nothing. It goes by so fast when you're running your own place. So that's one thing I kind of learned is you really have no life or freedom unless you can surround yourself with good quality people, and that's kind of hard to find in Salt Lake just because the amount of turnover and that you see down there. There's not really a huge work ethic in Salt Lake, and you get a lot of people who will sell out for 25 cents to go work down the street and not even ask you for a raise or anything like that. They just won't show up. So it's a totally different just a totally different group of people pretty much down there compared to Jackson. Silver, it's located in Park City, Utah. It's definitely the biggest restaurant that I've run. It's a 147-seat restaurant. And the challenges I incurred there were not only just in the employees and how there was really no training or discipline or anything when we first got down there. I mean, their assistant managers, we probably fired 3/4 of the staff down there. After I worked with the kitchen crew for a little bit, I ended up firing one of the sous chefs a couple weeks afterwards because the kid was telling me that he didn't want to wash dishes. If somebody doesn't really want to buy into a system or, have respect for the staff, I don't really need them around. I ended up getting rid of him a week before Sundance, which is the busiest part of the season. So he was really shocked that I fired him. He thought we were going to actually need his help, and I was like, if you're not willing to join out with the team, we'll just do it without you. So once they started seeing how serious we were, a couple other people jumped on board, and a couple people just quit because they didn't want to deal. So now there's a lot more of a core staff there now, kind of like what we developed here in Osteria over the last 5 years, and having people work here for 3 to 4 years. So that's what we're kind of trying to develop, at Silver, is that work relation bond and stuff, and that's where you can get the most consistent product out of it too if you have the same people working instead of having a high turnover ratio.
I think the menu is really interesting. I mean, one of the staples with Italian food is everyone thinks it's fresh ingredients that makes the menu. I think Paulie added a lot of infusion this year, which is quite interesting, and still keeping a lot of traditional Italian food on the menu.
As far as us just working together, he's very easy to deal with. As far as chefs go too, he's an amazingly even-tempered chef. He doesn't believe that yelling and screaming is the right way to get through things, and I think we have a great working relationship, and he's fun to work with and fun to learn from.
I want to know what it's like not to work for Paulie, because I'm not sure it's a awful.
First thing I got pierced was my tongue, and I think I was 16. I'm 33 now. And I've always wanted earrings and stuff, but my dad's a Roman Catholic, and he told me that if I got an earring, I'd make me wear a dress. So the first thing I did was got my tongue pierced because I figured my parents wouldn't see it. But my tongue ended up getting infected, so my mom's a nurse, and I had to go to the doctor, so I had to go to the place that she worked at. And since then, like, my mom pretty much cried and disowned me for a little bit. But after that, I pretty much started paving the way for, I have an older sister, and I was pretty much the first male in the family to ever have a tattoo or a piercing on both sides of the family. So once I pretty much got the first tattoo, then a couple of my cousins got some, and my sister got one. So there's really no rhyme or reason why I've done it. It's just something that's always intrigued me. I don't really mind paint. It depends what kind of job you want to look for. I did the whole Stein Harrison Lodge hotel thing where I was clean cut, shaven. You can't have your sideburns to your ear, the whole nine. And the food's good, but I'd rather just be me. I'd rather not have corporate telling me what I got to do when I have to do it or how I have to look for physical appearance. Because to me, just because of what I look like doesn't represent any of the food that I put out. So to me, if people are that stuck up on something, then they're people I don't really want to associate and really work with. And I always like the mom and pop place is a lot better because I feel it's more one-on-one than a lunch type of guy. When I work in the hotel, there's 40, 50 other cooks and stuff, so I never really worked hands-on with the chef and sous chef and stuff. So, people get shocked. I would say, customers sometimes get a little shocked. Or, if you try to work in places, in Manhattan, higher-end places and stuff, there's, it depends on the place. You definitely, a lot of them are more clean cut, but I think since tattooing and piercings now over the last 10 to 15 years have been a lot more common, I think a lot more places are starting to adjust to that. Before, when I was at CIA, if you had tattoos, you'd have to wear your chef jackets all the way rolled down and stuff like that. Now it's kind of being more common in the industry to, where you see more tattoos and stuff like that. Instead of wearing long sleeve shirts and stuff. So I think it's getting to be a little bit more sociable, acceptable, but to me, I think the food's got to speak for itself. So that's much my appearance.